Hey everybody, it's Anjanette from AJ's Personal Touch. How you doing? Welcome back to my subscribers and welcome into anybody new. We are here for the second time trying the live for, sorry, I forgot to turn this off and I had just gotten it ready for me to do that and completely forgot. Sorry about that. I cannot fix that until after we come on here. So I'm going to move you here for just a second because I thought I had it perfect, but I did not. So I'm going to put you on a pillow here so that I can angle you down a little more. There we go. Anyway, we are here to work on my Cal number 4, which is Christmas in July. So welcome in. As you can see, I just got my shower. I have been. Hey, Sonia had said, I hope I can make it. And she said, I'm here. Can you believe it? LOL. Yes, I was hoping. That's why I put out everything earlier today. But I know it was a little confusing. So thank you to Lisa. I don't know if you're here yet or if you're going to make it to this part of it for letting Sonia know what was going on. So I am so excited, to be with whoever wants to chat with me. Go ahead and put a chat in here. If you're going to just sit here and work on your project, feel free. I'm going to sit here and work on mine. So I'm not really going to say much unless somebody has questions or if they feel like, they want to type in the chat because they want to be chatty today instead of working on it and maybe work on it a little bit later. However you want to do it. But we're here for an hour. We meet for 2 hours when we do the Cal on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But last Thursday and this Thursday, I've split it between an hour live and then we're going to be doing an hour in the chat room. So, and that is a virtual chat. So you can show yourself on webcam or you don't have to. But you have to be a member of my group. So how that works. Oh, for some reason it wasn't showing Kathy. There we go. Kathy Belantia says, hi, AJ and Sonia, crocheting outside today and drinking iced coffee. I am so jelly. Sun just came out. It's been raining. My Wi-Fi went out. I was like freaking out that it may not come on in time. But anyway, as I was saying, the second hour will be in my group. And the only way you can join that chat is if you are a member of my group. So please join. I will check as soon as this is over to see if anybody has requested to join. There are a couple questions you have to answer, but they're real easy. So I think one of them is, how did you hear about the group? Just say, hey, I saw you, on a live or whatever, So, and then the other one is, I believe, do you do yarny crafts like crochet or knitting, or which one do you do or something like that. So just answer it. And then you just have to say, yeah, you'll follow the rules, which the rules aren't that bad. So anyway, I'm going to get my project out, catch my breath because I've basically been on the run. Oh, as I was saying, I have been knee deep going through boxes in the back room because those of you who have been following may know having surgery at the end of August and we have to move things around in the house. And we've been wanting to do this anyway. We've had so many boxes in the back. We looked like we were starting to become hoarders and we wanted to go through it. And we are working through everything. And it's going to be my craft slash possible dining area if anybody besides my husband are home eating, because we normally just sit in here and eat, / cat area because we want to put a cat tree in there, and there's a perfect place that we can put those steps up on the wall that they can go up and then have their own little nook at the top of it. So you have to forgive me, I just got out of the shower and I must have some water in my ear. Sanja says the end stitch, when you go back to do the missed stitch, do you go under or over the front loop? Okay, I don't have mine out yet, but I take my hook and I turn it up and I go in from the top. So I guess that, but then it's going under the loop, so it goes between the two stitches. So, but I don't go from the bottom, I go from the top. And I think everybody else has been doing it that way as well. And I'm trying to think if my live with Helen was before or after we started, because I think somebody asked her about that, and I think she said she does the same thing. Sorry about that. I should have warned you that that was going to make that noise. I do know that there is, if you're using the webpage, there's a link to a video where you can watch how she does it, and it will show you how she does it. But yeah, all I do the first stitch, I go back, put my hook like that, and it goes in between the two loops. I hope that helps. Okay, yeah, Helen was the day before. Yeah, I thought so. But I know Lisa had started it already, so I couldn't remember if she asked her that or not. Doesn't matter. I think when we went back and watched the video, it showed that she did it that way. I need to make sure that I have this. I thought I checked when I turned it off. Yes, it's on live chat, not on top chat. You are so welcome, Sanja. And once you learn how to do it, it is so easy, and you just keep doing it and doing it. The only thing is I have to make sure that I stop to count, because every once in a while I miss a stitch somehow, and I'm not sure exactly how, and I end it with a count of 43 instead of 44. I almost forgot what the count was supposed to be because I had not been looking at this yet. I only printed out so much. I need to get new ink for my printer, and I can't afford it right now. So, yeah. I'm only printing out little things because it's at that point where there's still ink in there. But if you put in, like, you need 4 pages, the first 2 are going to look good, but then the second 2 are going to start having the streaks through them. So I'm trying not to do more than 1 to 2 pages at a time. I thought I had, Oh, that's right, rows 4 to 40. That's why I just did those, because I knew that I had to do so many rows of the same repeats. There you go. And I counted mine, and I can't remember. I'll show you what mine looks at, and I did put my progress keeper in here. I've got 2 little ones. This little cat here, I got all of these on Etsy before I started making my own stitch markers. So, which I probably still would have gotten them because I think they're so cute. I want to find this charm and make some sometime, but as I promised my husband, I'm not buying any more charms or anything until I start making more and selling more stitch markers. So there's that cat. He is the one that I put in the stitch at the end of the row so that it doesn't, go back through and I lose stitches. And then this kitty here, who comes with a companion, which I guess I should be using his companion one. Maybe I'll switch that. He has a fishbowl companion, but this is my progress keeper. So as we go through and come back, you will see that you'll see how we go. You're on row 27. Wow. Well, you're farther along than I am, but I only work on this on Tuesdays and Thursdays right now. So I'm on, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I'm on row 17, and I'm getting ready to start working again. After I found that, there it is. Yeah, I'm going to change this around and use this one to hold my stitches, but this is the other stitch marker. I think it's really cute. I'm trying to remember what her name was. I'm not going to be able to, unfortunately, because I wanted to tell you guys where I found them. Oh, Vic's Knits, I think it is. If you happen to watch Mace of Skeins, it's the same person that Macy uses when she does her collabs. And she's actually who got me interested in making my own. There. Alrighty. Well, unless anybody has any more questions, I'm just going to sit back and crochet. That I am here for whatever. Sanja says, I will have to stop and get more of the yarn I am using. I can't remember. I think you showed us what kind of yarn. Oh, yeah. You're using a red sparkle yarn, if I remember right, correct? Because I've got green sparkle and you've got the red sparkle, but different yarn. Because mine's cotton and I believe yours is acrylic, if I remember right. Sanja just started working on this last Tuesday in the crochet group. That's why I know what she's using and I've seen it. I mean, when one of you two have time, you may want to put in the chat for me sometime, or even come back in the comments and let people know. Okay, a question. So not just the two of you. If anybody else comes in, like if Lisa comes in, and I'll try to remember to reiterate this, if she does, please, 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 for those of you who go into the chat room and do the virtual chat, please leave a comment letting people know if you like it or if you don't like it. And also let me know if you like this or not, because I'm trying to figure out what to do. I'd like to stay with one or the other. Or if people like it this way a lot, but most like it the other way, I may, instead of splitting one day in half, I may say, okay, one day is going to be in the room and one day is going to be live like this. Let me know what you think of that too, or if you like it this way better, where I just do an hour like this and, split it. Because I don't know if I could stay on here for 2 hours this way, honestly. I already know Kathy's answer. She's going to tell me she likes the chat room. It's her preference, what her preferential. It's the way she would prefer. There we go. I was trying to use a different whatever of it. Sorry, my brain is not with a lot today. Got a lot on my mind with so much to do before my surgery. But anyway, I know it's the way she would prefer to do it, but she will do whatever I decide to do. So I just like to know what you guys like. That way I can plan it better. And another question that I have for everybody. What time is best for you? I'm almost confident I'm going to leave it at this time because I know it's a good time for those who have been coming regularly, but I just still want to know what time is good just in case something happens and for some reason I need to change the time. Kathy says, I like both, but my preference is the room because I can talk more. Yeah. And I have to tell you, it's nice to be able to talk back and forth with people and not just read what they're saying. But I understand for some people, this is the way they need to do it. So that's why I wanted to try to do it both ways. Or they don't feel like they want to be in a virtual chat because they don't want to show their face. But as I have said more than once, you don't have to show your face. You can go in and talk. You don't have to turn your camera on. We've had people start that way, and I think all of them have switched to where they will come on and show their face now. Actually, one has passed not too long ago, but if I remember right, when Keith first came in, he didn't show his face at first. But honestly, I don't know if it was because he didn't want to or because he kept positioning his camera at a weird angle. And sometimes he would have it flipped and we were looking at his room, the door going outside, or whatever. I've had him a lot on my mind, so he is greatly missed. And he was a big part. He became a big part of the crochet alongs. He would come in whether he was working on something else, but he would come in and join us almost all the time once he knew that we did it. Looks like we lost somebody. I know I always say I don't really go by the numbers, but we either lost somebody or my internet is still messing up because of the storm. Oh, and I just found out. So, and I can't remember the names of the two people. The one person, I think I've seen her in other chats, but the other one, no, I had two people who were basically put in timeout and I never put them there. So I don't know how that happened. I don't know if Nightbot did it because of things that I eventually changed on Nightbot, so it didn't put people in timeout for a couple minutes. But this was like a permanent type timeout. So yeah, I put them back in the chat. If they were people who are giving me issues, then I will go back and take them out. But I do know, I'm pretty sure I've seen the one name in chats, live chats, a few times here recently. I just can't remember what it was. You have to forgive me on that. So I don't know, maybe the person was hacked. Maybe they had somebody who did an account that looked really close to her name. I don't know. Oh, there was something else I wanted to tell you guys, but I think I'm going to wait until more people come in because I'm pretty sure that the three of us are going to end up in the chat. So, and I think I may have said something when Sonia was with us the other day, but I can't remember. I decided I've been working so much with boxes and shelves and trying to clean off shelves and make more room for either my yarn to go on the shelves or my other craft stuff. I think I did really good clearing off two shelves that I just put a bunch of stuff on. I found some stuff that I'd been looking for, some paper craft stuff that I have that I hadn't decided if I was going to keep it or send it to somebody else, journaling stuff that I use basically on regular calendars, just different things like that. And then I found a pattern that I didn't know what happened to it. Now I do. Yeah, just different things. But I found all the papers from Halford, and that made me really sad. I've been thinking about him a lot. And for those of you who may not have been following me for a while, Halford is my husband's cat, and he passed away last December. But it reminded me that I need to go and turn off the chip service that I had for him, because I believe I started him with a service that I don't know if it was just a one-time fee or if it's a yearly fee. So I need to go and make sure that I find it and get it turned off if it's a yearly fee. I know after I did his, and I didn't have all the information I needed for Kahlua, I found a free one for her. So that's what I did for her. And if I would have had that information when I did his, I would have done his the same way. And we had to do his because he had gotten outside on his own. And my husband was like, we got to get that done now. So I did. And had I had Kaluas at the time, I would have done her with the same service. Because if you put, is that right? Actually, no. I was going to say if you put the all of your cats together, it was cheaper, but it was actually more expensive than if you put two individual ones together when you started doing like the family plan. But if you had more than one cat who was chipped, then it, was a good thing. So which that's one thing I have to talk about to my husband. We don't have Little Bit chipped. And I don't know if they will chip cats who have been marked, have their ears notched or cut lower to make people know that they're feral. I don't know if a vet would put a chip in them or not, because honestly, if somebody would find her, and if they know the system, they're going to assume that she's feral. And if they would take her into a vet, the vet, to have the chip read, or anybody else who reads chips, they would know that, and they would probably say, well, I'm sure she doesn't have one because, she's feral. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah, and we don't put colors on our cats anymore because one of my cats a while ago, I think it's one that we no longer have, that's no longer with us, kept trying to take her collar off, and she loved to go like under the tables, under the chairs, get through small spaces, squeeze through wherever she could. And she jumped down off of a counter and got caught on something on her way down. And her collar, even though it was supposed to be a breakaway collar, did not break. And it was just lucky that one of us was home, and it was at a time when I was working. And I can't remember if I came home early or what. And that was at a time when I worked quite a few hours that I wasn't doing massages. And I can remember coming in with Emily, and Emily was just I don't know, she was younger. She was maybe 5 or 6, somewhere around there. And it must have happened just as we were coming in. I'm assuming that the cat was jumping down to greet us. But we just heard it wailing. I hurried up and I pushed through the door because I could hear it, and made it to her and got her collar so that it would open so that she could release, because she was caught so well I couldn't even get the collar off of where she was caught. So yeah, after that we stopped putting collars on our babies. Then we made sure that they were all chipped just in case they got out. But I know from things that have happened to a friend of mine that if your cat gets out, that people don't always do what they're supposed to do, that they may just keep it and not even see if it's got a chip. And then if it gets out again and ends up at um, the Humane Society and they found out that yes, indeed, it does have a chip, and they get in touch with the person who is the owner, they still made her come in and readopt her own pet. It was stupid. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40, 41, 42, 43. And on top of that, they had told her they believed that it had been in a home that somebody had taken the cat in. So if that person took the cat in, they never went and put in a missing report. And she put in, or a found report, and they put in a missing report. And they told her that if the family that had taken it in, that they believed had taken the cat in, wanted the cat, that they had first dibs because the cat had gotten away, and she hadn't had the cat for over a year. And she was like, "Excuse me, the cat's mine. It's chipped. You see that it's mine." It was dumb. It was so stupid. She ended up getting her cat back. Kathy's saying yes, it was. It was Kathy's cat, but I wasn't going to say that in case you didn't want any people to know. It was just a stupid mess. So, I guess as something to let you guys know, if you have a cat and it gets out and it gets lost, I know this is a law in Indiana, and I know it is a law in most states, actually, cat or dog. If you have a pet that gets out, make sure you go to the animal control from where you live, whether it's done with your city that you live in or your township, or where's the word I'm looking for? It's not township, but some are done by township, county, or by county that you live in. Make sure you go and you fill in a loss report. Because the other part of the law, the first part is if you lose an animal, that you need to fill in a loss report. The second part is that if you find an animal, it is the law, at least it is here in Indiana, it is the law that you go and fill in a found report of whatever animal you have found. And that way, if everybody does what they're supposed to, if a person puts in a missing report and then somebody puts in a found report, they can also get these animals back home with the people who lost them. We know Kathy did her part. She put in a missing report, if I remember right. But the other people did not put in a found report. So right there, that was the really stupid part of it. She looked into it, and it is a law where she is too. And they were saying that they were going to give the cat back to them when they didn't even follow the law to begin with. And as you can tell, it upset me just as much as it upset her because that was terrible. People shouldn't have to go through stuff like that. Right before I came in, I went through like a high and a low because I've been listening to Spotify while I clean in the back room. That's basically what it is, cleaning, reorganizing, whatever you want to call it. So while I'm working back there, I've been putting Spotify on because I don't know, if you guys feel the same way, but if you have somebody you're working with and you're talking, it goes faster. If you have music to listen to, for me, it goes faster. I like to sing, so I sing, with the music that I know. So I started off last week. I found a really good 80s, 90s quote station on Spotify. I don't understand all of that sometimes. What I normally do is I try to go and find an artist that I want to listen to and find their albums and then just listen to an album or a disc for I'm showing my age. Sorry. So but sometimes I just want to hear different music. I'm going to have to make sure because I think that you can like everything that you like. I know that you can on albums and stuff. You can like the songs. So I know you can like songs, but I need to like the two different stations. The first one I got, I did not like because 3/4 of the songs were sung by the artist who originally, created the music or who sang it in the 80s or 90s. But then another fourth of it was sung by some other people. And I don't even know who they were. And it didn't say who they were. It just told you the song and it didn't give you the name of an artist. But it definitely was not the artist. And if they gave you the name of the artist, then the artist was singing it. I got off that channel. I got off of it fast. But then after I was done listening to a regular 80s, 90s, I was like, I used to listen to a lot of country music as well. I During the 80s and the 90s, I went through high school and college, got married. You know, Emily was born in 97. So I went through a lot of different stuff. So I like a lot of different music and my tastes would change. So sometimes I'd want to listen, to the current popular music. I almost always listen to, like the top 10 on the weekend, but I didn't always listen to the pop top 10. Sometimes I'd listen to the country top 10. It just depended on what we were listening to at that point in time. And once I met my husband, I listened to a lot more country. I listened to a lot of country when I was younger because my dad liked country, that or the oldies. And when I got out, I listened to more popular music, but I did listen to some Christian music. And like I said, I listened to a lot of different things. Well, when I got with my husband, we went back and listened to a lot of country because that's what he listened to. So I decided to start listening to the 80s and 90s country music station, and it is so good. I mean, it is so good. For anybody who like country, especially in the 80s, 90s, and 80s and 90s, and you have Spotify, they have the 80s and 90s country station, and I really enjoy it. But it put me through an emotional roller coaster right before I came on today, because one of the songs that I heard as I was combing through my hair was Keeper of the Stars. And Keeper of the Stars was my husband's and that was our wedding song. And we consider it one of our songs. We have a couple of songs, but our major song. And then, as right after I finished getting dressed and I was, folding up my towel and putting things away, and a Tim McGraw song came on. Which one is it? Not the Girl, I think is the name of it. And I was like almost bawling. So if you've ever heard the song, you know exactly why. I was just, I was just a mess. I'm like, I've got to go to my chat because I need to get happy again. But then a happy song came on. So I think one of the upbeat Shania Twain songs came on. So I had one day when I listened to nothing but 80s ballads and I just sat here and bawled. I was like, I will not make that mistake again. Actually, I think that one was 80s and 90s too. I was like, I will not make that mistake. That's a sad thing about all this organization in the back room and going through all the boxes and stuff. Been going through so many memories. And the other night I was going through so many that had to do with my grandma, and I just lost it. I had to cry for a little bit. Sorry, I know I'm being a little chatty. I know some channels do videos or lives where they come on and all they do is crochet. And they don't say anything. All they do is crochet. Would any of you be interested in something like that? Again, the people that I know the most who watch me, I already know their answer on that. But if anybody who comes on and who's watching this on replay, or sitting in here and you're not somebody that I have known you for a while, let me know what you think. Do you like that or do you not like that? I'm trying to decide if I want to even try it. I'm thinking if I did it, that I'd probably come on live. And that way, if anybody had any questions for me, they could ask me, and then I could answer them back, and it wouldn't just be me sitting crocheting and then, answering questions if anybody has any from the chat later on, if that makes sense. Okay, we have 20 minutes left, and then we will be moving to the group in Facebook. And it's funny, the number keeps going from 2 to 3. And nobody else is coming in and saying hi. I forgot to ask you guys, and you don't have to tell me. You can wait till we go in the room. Because I'm almost 90% positive that you will both be there. I know Kathy will. I don't know if Sanja's planning on going with us or not. Oh, no need for sorry, Sanja. If you have to go, you have to go. But I forgot to ask, what's in your cup? I already know what's on your hook. But if you happen to come on and you're not working on the stocking, what's on your hook? Sanja says she's planning on it. So she's planning on going to the room. Maybe you didn't hear me when I asked you then, Sanja. I couldn't remember. What kind of yarn are you using? I know that it's a red sparkle, but I couldn't remember what kind it was. For me, I am drinking Olipop. Let me go. There we go. The root beer flavor, classic root beer. I love this. I absolutely love it. And it's not a pop per se, it's sparkling tonic that has the taste of classic root beer. And it has probiotics, botanicals, and plant fiber in it. It's a little bit pricier. I only drink it every once in a while, like maybe 1 or 2 cans a month. I know last month I drank 1 can because I picked up 2 when we went to the store, but I think I only drank 1 last month. Sandra says, water in my cup and need to start some dish toppers. And Kathy says iced coffee. Red Heart Metallic is what she's using. And she said she thinks it's what it's called. Okay, that's right. It was Red Heart. It's a really pretty yarn. And that's the other thing about in the group for anybody who, is on the fence about going in the group. Again, like I said, you don't have to show your face if you don't want to. So if that's the main reason, you don't have to go on camp. You don't have to do that. But some of the really cool things is, you can show each other what yarn you're using. You can show each other your progress. When we first came in, Sanja asked how we did a part of the end stitch, and had we been in the group instead of just me showing her, or if I was in the middle of doing something, Kathy could have showed her or told her, or if somebody asks something that I don't know the answer to and somebody else does, they can jump in and say, it's this or that or whatever. So those are some major pluses of why we do it virtually in the chat room as well. So just a question, just me being curious, and for anybody who may be watching this on a replay, please feel free to answer. Are any of you true crime buffs? Oh, that's right. Kathy says that the Olipop sounds good, but she can't have probiotics. The probiotics, and it helps me out a lot. That's one reason why I do it. But anyway, let me know if you're a true crime buff like I am. I'm excited about the news that they finally feel that they have caught the person who murdered John Benet. or Joan Benet, or however, I think it was pronounced John Benet Ramsey. And I am thrilled that they finally vindicated the family, because I never felt that the mother or father did it. And I really thought it would have been really hard for the son to get it. So I am really thrilled that they finally found the person. They said that his handwriting matches the um, the note that the Ramseys had found. Sanja says not true crime, but I love clean mysteries. Okay. I just learned what a clean mystery was from Ambi not too long ago. Ambi is I'm not going to think of the name of her channel. I'm going to have to think on that for a minute. I can't believe it. I was so used to saying it all the time. Now I can't remember it. Ambi Craft Reads. Kathy says not as much as you, but yes, I watch it often. Yeah. Sometimes when I need a timeout, I will just turn on either true crime stuff on the TV, or I have a couple YouTube true crime channels I like to watch. One, I take all the information with a grain of salt, and the other, I know checks their facts and everything. My husband just told me today he read that the lawyers for Richard Allen, who is accused of the Delphi murders of I'm not going to think of their names right now either, too. And I've always had them on the tip of my tongue because I talk about that case so much. We pass by not too far from where Delphi is when we go down to Indy. But they had put into the judge for him to get have a change of venue, or not a change of venue for the trial. What some people may not know is he's actually in a prison right now, because even though he hasn't been tried yet, to keep him safe, because the county jail that he should be in, is they could not keep him um, safe enough in there, because they couldn't keep him on his own and away from the other inmates. And everybody knows crimes against children, lots of time people in jail and people in prison want to get to them and hurt them. So he has to be changed into a different facility. And the judge said no, because it sounded like the facility that he's already in, he's going to be taken care of better than the facility they asked him to be sent to. And that, I guess the judge turned around and said, and the judge came to that conclusion from everything that was given to him by his lawyers. So whatever they told him about the place they want him to go to, when he read it, he was like, no, that's going to be worse than where he is already. So, it was denied. So I guess the other place is closer to home, but where he's at really isn't that far. So Kathy says she usually watches true crime when she goes to bed. I need to listen about, is it the Giglio Beach murders? I do get behind on some. Like the Idaho murders, I didn't listen to anything about them until, I don't know, a month at least went by. Month and a half. Some things are too hard for me to watch, and the fact that my daughter is 26, that was a bit too hard for me to watch. Especially when they still had the suspect was still at large. Oh, I did it again. Must have missed a stitch somewhere. Before anybody says anything about that too, yes, I know that he is presumed innocent. Yep, I think I missed a stitch all the way at the beginning of my end stitch row. Or is that a stitch right there? Oh, I think that's what it is. Okay. When I think about some of the things that I did when I was younger, I'm lucky to be here, honestly. There we go. Sometimes because of the end stitch, if anybody watches this and decides they want to make it and they're just going to join in, sometimes when you're doing the single crochet row and you're getting to the end, you really have to look and you count and you get 43 like I did and you need 44. You really have to look at the stitches at the very end of that row. Lots of times the last stitch of the row gets stuck right on the side of the first stitch of the end stitch. So, yeah, I almost missed that when I did this one. It didn't look like it was an actual place for a stitch, but it was. Not sure if anybody else has been having that problem, but I've been having that problem. I kept looking at it thinking, that's just a loose stitch and from the row before, and then I realized nope, not from the row before, that's from this row. Yeah, here, I'll try and show you what I mean. Right, see if it'll show you close enough. I'm using green too, so it may not. I tend to end on this stitch right here that my fingers are on instead of this stitch right here next to it on the there. Maybe I need to show it to you this way better. So I go along, you got those two stitches on the end. I usually end here thinking that this stitch is not actually a stitch, but it is. Sandra says, aren't we all? I can think of a few things I have done that should have killed me. She says, I have a few places I will have to fix. in your in your stocking, right? Well, it is 5:55. We got 5 more minutes, and then I will be switching over to the room. And I actually put a timer on it. So if anybody is like, oh, well, I'm going to go there early, the room is going to open up on its own. And it's supposed to open up at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So I don't know if it'll let you in earlier than that. I know that it would have let me in early, but then I think it would have just opened had I gone in. So I don't know. I've never scheduled it. I think I tried to schedule it once before, and it was kind of weird. Somebody said it wouldn't let them in, but I don't know if she was looking for a chat on the messenger or the actual chat in the room. So, and she said yes on the stocking. Yeah. Is it a place where you didn't have enough single crochets, or is it a place in the end stitch? Just curious. Now, I did make sure that I put down below in the description, there is a link that goes to my group, because if you look for AJ's Personal Touch in Facebook, you're going to find that there are two different places, and one is my group and one is a page. So you want to make sure that you go to the group and not to the page. Now, if you're happy to do a search on there and you're looking for the group, you're going to go to the one that has my brand, because I used my brand as my picture. So you're going to see the cat with the butterflies that says AJ's Personal Touch. And if you go and you see one with the picture of me like you do on my channel, it's the same picture as my channel picture. That is my page, which I really don't do much on my page anymore. So I'm actually thinking of closing it, just to let you know. Okay, 2 minutes. So, feel free, Kathy, Sanja, if you need to leave, go use the ladies' room or something, feel free to go do that if you want to. And I will close up here. Like 2 minutes. 1 minute. So there's only 1 minute left. I'm going to go ahead and say my goodbyes, because it only says there's one person left on here with me after I do this stitch. I can't be in the middle of an end stitch when I stop. So I'm going to say my goodbyes on here. And if you guys are joining me in the room, I will see you there. I know I'll see Kathy, and Sanja said she plans on being there. So if anybody else comes, I can't wait to see you and chat with you. And I think between everybody who's in there, I'm going to make a decision on whether I should come back and do it this way next week or not. Really quickly, I forgot I was going to talk about this, and I forgot. AKA has disbanded. Ambi has needed to step away for a while. So Kaylin and I are doing our own lives now once a month. And next Wednesday on my channel will be the first one. And it will be called AJ's and K's. Oh, wow. AJ's and K's Yarny Tales. I had it in my head a minute ago, and then phew. Anyway, please come and join us next Wednesday at AJ's and K's Yarny Tales. And I believe it's still going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I have to confer with Kaylin on that. I know we set a time, or I have to look at my notes. So can't wait to see you guys. Hope to see you there. And it is now 9 o'clock. So I am signing out, and I will see you guys in the room later.